Wimbledon has its official Wimbledon charity, which is the Wimbledon Foundation, and they support lots of organisations in the local community, such as Wandsworth and Merton. And one of those charities is the International Magic Bus, and I'm joined by its founder, Matthew Spacey, right here. So, International Magic Bus, tell us about your charity.
So we basically started Magic Bus in Bombay about 20 years ago, and it was started because in India, obviously, we have a huge poverty problem, and there are lots of great organisations doing very traditional work around education, around health, around livelihood, but a lot of children don't relate necessarily to that traditional mechanism of engagement. So we started using sport to get these young people engaged through a very relevant mechanism. So we started with rugby. We grew the programme from 30 people now to just under 500,000 children in the country, and they join a programme which is called Childhood Through to Livelihood. So we start at 12, they stay with Magic Bus all the way through to 18, where we deliver them in a livelihood at the end of the programme.
How much do you see these children benefiting from what you provide them with?
You see, it's obviously we see it qualitatively, but we also measure it as well, which is crucial. So, you know, our impact is very well recorded, and we have 98% of our children now, adolescent girls, going into school. That's compared to 43% as a national average. We're placing about 85% of all the graduates of Magic Bus through into jobs and tracking them for 12 months after they have left the system, so that we know they're staying in jobs and critically moving out of poverty.
Can you maybe give us some examples of what actually you do as well for some of these children? What experiences do you give to them?
Yeah, so if you could close your eyes and imagine the poorest village in India, and you throw a tennis ball or football up in the air, every child in that village will gravitate to that ball, that because children essentially love playing. It doesn't matter if you're Hindu, Muslim, boy, girl, whatever caste you're in. Using play as a mechanism to excite young people is wonderful, and it works. The critical piece is you then put a mentor into that model, and you use that game as an opportunity to change the behaviour. So you use, so it's not a traditional game of football or tennis. You're using, the game, the piece of play as a message, if you like. And so at the end of that activity, they're then decoding, or if they're then facilitating a programme which is getting the children to understand why going to school is critical, for example.
Absolutely. And just tell us a little bit about what the Wimbledon Foundation does specifically as well for your charity.
So, we've had this is our third year of our relationship with Wimbledon. And, when you start thinking about tennis and the slums of a city like Delhi, where we have our programme, you think there's not really much connection you can make with. But, and so, if we started on that premise, but we thought, this would be very interesting. And so the Wimbledon Foundation have started a programme where we have 3,000 children in a slum in Delhi. We have a solid tennis programme where they have the coaches, but we also layer that with the Magic Bus programming, so we also mentor the children about critical issues like not getting married and going to school. And we've seen the programme, to be honest with you, what's been wonderful about this, it's been a tremendously successful programme, but secondly, what we started seeing is that villages and slums around the funded programme have started building their own tennis courts. As you can imagine, these are literally rubbish tips that they've sort of flattened out into clay, and we play our own version of Wimbledon tennis in the slums of Delhi. It's a phenomenal programme, and the children are so engaged in this. So it's not, of course, about finding the next champion, but it's about using something as fun and relevant for them as tennis and engaging them through that. So it's been an amazing experience.
I'd love to see a visual of that. And I mean, it sounds like the tennis is booming in Delhi. And also, Matthew, just tell us a bit about that you're here on a holiday because you live over there and you've come to see the championships and see what's going on back at home.
That's right, yeah. So I live in Bombay. I've been there in fact, I was posted there 22 years ago to work, and then 20 years ago we started Magic Bus, and it's a big organisation. We have 10,000 people delivering programme every week. So it's sucked me into this. It's certainly I'm certainly working harder than I ever worked before, but I'm enjoying it. It's a very fulfilling life I lead.
And getting to experience days like this as well must be an incredible part of what you do. Thank you so much for chatting to us, and good luck going forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you.